Hi, this is Randy. So this is kind of a dual purpose video. First of all, I just wanted to talk a little bit more about the types of men that you come in contact with on online dating sites or possibly chatting in a singles chat room, which I don't do, but I'm sure they're there as well. And again, I don't need to repeat myself, but I will. They're not all narcissists, but a lot of them are very undesirable jerks, and you wouldn't know if they were a narcissist until you actually got into a relationship with them. And when you're communicating online, that is not a relationship. So the first kind of guys, there's a lot of these. Basically, they're just dorks. Okay, they're socially awkward. They look awkward. They write awkward kinds of things. They can't carry on a conversation. They seem nervous. They don't have any sense of humor. And they're kind of self-deprecating, especially in their profiles. Then there are the angry men, and there are quite a few of those, right? So they were burned in their last relationship, and instead of giving themselves time to heal, they thought they'd get right back out there, and they just have this chip on their shoulder. They're pissed off at women. A lot of them are MGTOWs, and they're very annoying and provocative. They have very poor communication skills, I've found. Like, you can't understand what the point that they're trying to make. They think that you already know them and know their idiosyncrasies. They don't bother to try to communicate in a way where you could actually understand what they're saying. And if you respond to them, they act like they didn't even understand what you said back to them, or they totally misinterpret it. They're super cautious and suspicious, even paranoid, and they're usually very cheap and very unwilling to spend, more than $3 to meet you for a cup of coffee, which I don't do that. It's not worth my time to get ready for a cup of coffee, and plus I don't drink coffee after like 8 a.m. So then there are, these darn crows are out here again. Then there are the foreigners, okay? So with a foreigner, you can actually detect their accent through their writing. They write just like they talk. They use the improper tenses, and they don't put S's on things that require S's. I don't know, you probably know what I mean. There are also frequent misunderstandings with these guys, probably due to the language barrier. And these men seem to be really in a fantasy land world of unreality, over romantic, and they don't have to do any work, but they're real sure that they're just about to get exactly what they want or who they want. The next kind of guys that you'll see online are these, quote, hopeless romantics, unquote. They put that they're a hopeless romantic in their profile. Sometimes they put it twice. They like to use the word romantic. I don't know what hopeless romantic means. To me, it means dumbass, really. They're similar to the foreigners, but they're American. Basically, they've watched too many romantic comedies. They probably are super lonely or have been out of a relationship for so long that they don't remember that, it's not all about the kind of things that happen in the movies. So another kind of man that you will see online are the clueless ones. So clueless ones that do not read your profile. They don't pay attention to your location at all. They didn't read anything. even like your heading, even something that they can see without even going deeper into the profile. Or if they do know where, if they have read your location, they don't know where your city is. So they didn't, they don't know their way around. They didn't bother to look it up to see that it's far. I mean, basically, if you've never heard of the city where this person is from, that pretty much should tell you it's too far, right? They also tend to believe that they can get to know someone online, like that you're going to chat over and over for days and days, and then maybe you're going to talk on the phone, and like you're going to fall in love online, which is totally ridiculous. And they also tend to ask like the dumbest questions. It's like they're putting you through this kindergarten interview, and you're like, why would it even matter? Or they want to know if you like all the same things they like, and if you don't like everything that they like, then they're not interested, which makes no sense, because you don't have to like everything that the other person likes for you to be a match. But on the other hand, if you do like a lot of the things that they also like, then they also think that, oh wow, for sure, this is a great match, we're in love all of a sudden. It's like, that doesn't really mean anything either. So what? We have similar interests. A lot of people have similar interests. Does not mean they're a match. Then there's the workaholic. This is pretty common. These are these guys that don't really have time to meet anyone because they work all the time. They have kids. They are really into their jobs. They work probably more than 40 hours a week, or they have some really weird schedule, like they work midnight shift and they can never get together at any kind of reasonable time. All they want to do is chat online, usually while they're at work, but they never have any time to meet. The next kind is the eternal chatter. These guys are able to carry on a conversation, but that's all they ever want to do. They're basically afraid to meet in person, and if you mention it, they make up some excuse, one thing or another, because really they're just on the dating site because they're bored, and somehow they think it's a notch in their belt if they're talking to a woman online. Like, they blow it out of proportion, the importance of it. Like, to me, it's pretty much meaningless. To them, they've got 10 girlfriends that they're talking to online that they never meet. Then there's the newbie. This is a guy that's new. I mean, nothing against being new. Everybody's new, newly divorced, newly deciding to put a profile up online. Basically, newbies are, especially guys, embarrassed that they even joined the dating site, right? They still think there's a big stigma around being on a dating site, and they are still in that phase where they're asking about, have you ever met anyone who's crazy, and aren't you afraid to meet people in person? And yeah, I've heard all these stories, and it's like, to me, it's like, God, that's such old news. I've been doing this for so long. It's like, who cares about the stories? The stories about meeting crazies are pretty few and far between overall. It's just more like meeting a lot of people that aren't your match. That's what I find anyways. And then there is I called him the John. So this is the type of guy that's online dating because he thinks that dating sites are actually a place to find free hookers who are beautiful and desperate for sex without them having to do anything. They think it's a place, they think women are like men, and women are there so they can meet up with a stranger and have sex at whim, and it's just a matter of, putting these two strange bodies together, and, it's going to be some, ecstatic experience. Who cares about the risks and about the immorality of it all? that's what they think dating sites are for, and that's all they're there for. Actually, I don't usually find that many that are overtly like this. Probably a lot of them are covertly wanting that, but they at least go about it in a little bit more smoother way. Some of them are just outright pigs. There's the jokester type. This is actually one of my personal favorites. Is somebody who is kind of funny and has a sense of humor, is kind of lighthearted, able to kid around, don't get overly sensitive, or don't get angry. There's no tinge of anger there. They don't seem to misinterpret what is said, or if they don't understand, they just ask. They're pretty easygoing, and they're not like annoying. They are unfortunately, at least half of them are not even serious about really meeting anyone in person. So it's kind of a letdown when you have some communications with a guy that seems to have a good personality, decent sense of humor, maybe seems stable, level-headed, not taking himself or others too seriously. But then, like I said, you find that they also aren't serious at all about really meeting anyone in person. So that's kind of a bummer. Then there's the grillers, I'm calling them. They grill you. It's like they're so cautious and so hesitant and so leery about women at this point that they start shooting out 50 questions to you, and if your answers just aren't exactly right, they disappear. Or they'll even block you for no reason, like as if you're a stalker or something. They'll block you just because they didn't like your answer. But in a way, I do kind of understand that, because I block guys too for no reason, just because I don't want their profile ever showing up again on my feed, because it's like they're a no. So I guess I kind of understand. But what happens is, some of these guys who block me, because I guess I became a no to them for some reason, they'll try to email me again or message me again at a later point. I don't know if they don't remember that they've already talked to me online, or whether they know it and they forgot that they blocked me. So they'll send me a message and I can't respond because I'm blocked by them. So it's really weird when that happens. It's happened quite a few times. I mean, like 7 to 10 times. Real strange. But anyway, these grillers, you know, it's like serious business. It's like they have a deadline to meet and they are shooting out the 50 questions. It's like you don't pass, so then they move on to the next one. And pretty much no one's going to pass, because their questions are like pretty stupid anyways. And who cares about all these questions when you haven't even met in person? I mean, the deal breaker is after you meet in person anyway, so kind of like meet and get it over with. That's how I feel. Now, the last kind of man, I just got one of these from someone at 4 a.m. this morning. So I happened to wake up at like 2:30. In the morning, I watched a movie and I was about to go to bed, and I get this message from some guy at 4 a.m. He's got one picture up there, and this is the question. He says, "Hi, I just want to know what you would need a man for right now." Oh my God, disgusting. Usually I don't reply, but I just said, I could use a man for yard work. And then he says, no, I said right now it's dark out. I can't do yard work right now. So what else could you use a man for right now, in caps? I just wrote back nothing. Go to bed, you're drunk. And then after that, he couldn't let that go. He had to write, go suck off your father, you cocksucker. You have big boobs. I mean, like, what a retard, right? So anyway, those are quite a few of the types of men that you do meet online. You're not going to meet Mr. Wonderful immediately. You're going to have to go through all these crazy frogs and ignorant losers, dorks, hopeless romantics, blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't mean they're all narcissists. So that's the end of this video. It took too long, so I'll probably make another one. I'm going to tell you about a new venture that I am beginning that I might need some help with from my viewers. All right, thanks for listening. Have a great day.